on the new Talk Radio 1450 WCTC. Call Jersey Central at 732-545-9282. Toll free at 888-545-9282. Watch Jersey Central live online at WCTCAM.com or listen on your smartphone with the iHeartRadio or TuneIn apps. Connect with WCTC on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube by searching 1450 WCTC. And now, back to Jersey's Morning Show. Jersey Central with Bert Barron.
It is 8:37. We are back on Jersey Central on the new Talk Radio WCTC, the voice of Central Jersey. Need to know things coming up a little bit later on in this 8:30 half hour. Next traffic and weather update will happen at 8:45, and 287 has been nothing but big-time trouble today. And we'll get the latest update going on there coming up in about 7 minutes or so. To the Raritan Bay Medical Center Jersey Newsmaker Hotline we go. Let's welcome back a business lender and former managing director of a former major Wall Street firm. He's now the CEO of Piscataway-based Total Merchant Resources, and we're here to talk about the Brexit fallout and just how concerned should we be here in Jersey and in the United States about this exit that the UK is having with the European Union. Let's welcome back to WCTC Jason Reddish this morning. Jason, good morning. It's Bert Barron. How you doing today?
Hey, Bert. Thanks for having me back on.
Always a pleasure, and you always offer some good insights. So when all this stuff started happening there with the European markets, you're the guy I thought of to get you back on the air to kind of comment. Should we be concerned? I mean, when this vote was announced that the UK is going to be leaving the European Union, it was like the sky was falling and markets were crashing all over the world. How big a concern is this from the financial standpoint for stockholders and for people worried about their retirement accounts here in the U.S., Jason? Is this a big problem?
Well, look at the traffic on 287. I mean,
that's a big problem.
It's all Brexit.
Brexit 10 is closed, yes.
we should have some concerns. And by the way, I wanted to congratulate you on being inducted into the New Jersey Broadcasters Hall of Fame. Greatly deserved, and yeah, I loved hearing that.
Thank you.
We should be concerned because this goes a lot deeper than economic problems. And I think yesterday Fareed Zakari on CNN said that economic issues affect the head and identity issues affect the heart. And it was a great insight because I think you make the worst decisions when you're emotional and not logical. And if you look into the reasoning behind Brexit, it's problems that affect us globally and especially domestically at home. As far as the markets go, I mean, China is our biggest trading partner. And if you saw a couple of months ago the markets react to, China's slowdown, that was bigger news than this. But this seems to be getting a lot more press, probably because it relates to us more with everything that's going on. And the reason that Britain decided to leave, it's the wealth disparity all over again. You have a group of people in Europe, and they really put the demographics together, that 68% of the Leave movement don't have high school diplomas. And 70% of the Remain movement, and that's the Brits that wanted to stay in the European Union,
right,
had college degrees. So, and if you noticed, after the vote was made, the biggest hit on Google in Britain was, what is Brexit?
Yes, what did I just vote for, right?
Yeah, so
right.
That's pretty scary. And if you noticed, you didn't hear anything about Scotland or Northern Ireland
right.
Throughout the whole thing. And as soon as the vote was cast to leave, now they want to stay with the European Union. And to hear that right after the vote makes you realize that nobody had absolutely any types of planning for this vote. I think everybody, the entire market before this vote calculated in. It's funny, when I looked at the market close on Thursday, I actually said to myself, it's amazing that the market knows what this vote's going to be before the people do.
Interesting.
Because the market was rallying, factoring in the fact that Britain would stay in the European Union.
Wow. How about
and
that?
I guess nobody, and the market does usually know, and the market didn't even know with this vote, which was, pretty historic from what I've seen.
Man, now I was watching some overnight news in the wee hours of Saturday morning. I actually pulled an all-nighter, and I was up watching TV and whatnot. At about 4 a.m., there was a guy who was on from London who says, well, you know what? Part of the reason is because He said something about the UK economy just being in the European Union. They lose like $47 billion or something every year. But if you look at Germany, they make about $47 billion a year by being a part of this European Union. Why is there such a big discrepancy from one nation to another? Is it just the general health of the local economies, Jason? Is that why it's part of the reason?
I think in Britain you've had the nationalists win, the xenophobics,
Mm-hmm.
all these adjectives that you're hearing getting thrown around. That whether you're with it or for it or against it, I think immigration is the probably the largest issue.
Yeah.
Britain has a very liberal and open door policy on health care, unlike this country. I mean, and you had to wait a couple of weeks for a doctor's appointment, and that's gone up 300%.
Wow.
With the influx of immigrants, to get into a hospital or to get a doctor's appointment. That's the kind of stuff that obviously pisses people off.
Yeah, yeah.
And, and unfortunately, in this case, I really think, and I hate to put my opinion in, but more than anything, you have like when a 3-year-old baby breaks all their toys because they're angry about something.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't help the 3-year-old baby because now they have no toys left.
Right, then they cry because their toys are broken, right?
Yeah, and if you really want to think about this, think about the worst divorce that you can think of,
Okay.
like a real complicated, terrible divorce from like a huge CEO, and think about having to do 27 of those all at once with no pre-planning. And that's, if this was well thought out and pre-planned, it could have some kind of patriotic. It could have good optics and a good feel.
Right, right.
But I don't think it was thought out. And once again, when you have people Googling what this means after they vote on something so important, it's pretty scary.
That's very telling. Jason Reddish is our guest this morning. He is the CEO of Total Merchant Resources, located right nearby in Piscataway, New Jersey. We're talking about the Brexit fallout and what it could mean financially, and what it has meant so far for the markets here and abroad. I knew that as soon as the U.S. markets open after this vote was announced, I knew they were just going to fall off a cliff and then just slowly sort of recover. What do you think about this coming week here, Jason? Do we see a little bit more in the way of stability?
Well, the VIX is a great bet for volatility. Okay. You're going to see, the markets hate uncertainty, mm-hmm. and this is uncertainty on steroids. The future of what, and this is the beginning. This is the very, very beginning. You want to see if other countries are going to follow Britain's lead now and try to also leave the EU, which is yet to be determined. I think that the good thing about this is the fact that the American markets are a safe bet. Now, we have to get our act together here in Washington, because when the government isn't getting things done, it's not good for the global for our market or the global markets at that. And this could be a good opportunity. I mean, people want to leave the FTSE, which is the index over, on the other side of the pond, mm-hmm. In Britain. They're going to want to put their money into our markets. Our dollar is extremely strong. I mean, if you want to travel right now, it's really a good, your dollar will go a long way. I don't know if you saw George Soros, but in '92, one of his most successful bets was shorting the pound. And love him or hate him, he just did the same thing again. He actually did predict this, which was unbelievable insight. I think our markets, you're going to see you're going to see a lot of volatility. I don't think it's the end of the world. A lot of people want to compare this to the collapse in 2008 with Lehman Brothers. We have better checks and balances in play now than we did then. The banks did pretty much pass all their wills and means tests, which is a good timing for this. And I think if you want to invest right now, you have to look at companies that are either getting unfairly beaten down, or that don't have the global exposure. I mean, there's companies like Salesforce, which is a growing company, and they have long-term contracts in place and a fully matured subscription model, and no production in Britain. So that's like a good stock to look at. And the stocks you want to be a little bit nervous of is Coca-Cola, stocks that do McDonald's, stocks that do a lot of business in Britain,
sure.
until when they start putting a plan together. this might be a good opportunity, to bottom feed.
Yeah. Yep. Good stuff as always from you, Jason. How can someone get more information about Total Merchant Resources?
Well, I hate to, be happy about bad news when this could, and this doesn't have to necessarily be taken as bad news, but when you have big corporations that get into problems, with global situations like this, more people are inclined to open businesses.
Right.
So
Okay.
this might not be the worst thing in the world for me.
Mm-hmm.
To get in touch with me at Total Merchant Resources,
Yeah.
you could definitely go to our website at totalmerchantresources.com. And you can call us toll free at 855-ASK-TMR8. That's ASK-TMR8.
All right, good stuff as always. Jason Reddish, CEO of Total Merchant Resources in Piscataway. Thanks for your time this morning, and I'm sure we'll be reaching back out as the markets continue this roller coaster ride they've been on. I appreciate your time this morning.
Thanks, Bert. Always a blast talking to you. Stay off 287.
You bet, absolutely. Thank you very much. I appreciate that, Jason. All right, Jason Reddish.